Hello, welcome back to PlayStation Access. I'm Nathan, I'm here with Dave.
Hello.
Dave, you played a game earlier on today,
I did.
I came in and saw you playing it, and I didn't realise you'd started, and then when I realised you had started, I thought you were controlling it with your mind.
I mean, in a way I was.
That is true.
Sort of. Yeah, I was playing Arca's Path.
Arca's Path.
Which is a new PSVR
Yes.
puzzle, I want to say chill-out puzzle game.
It seemed very relaxed. You were barely moving.
And I guess the first thing that what you're alluding to is that you don't use a DualShock at all.
No.
Which we've previously, I think, only seen in one of my favourite PSVR games, Headmaster.
Right. Oh man,
but even that has a little bit of
much
DualShock.
less chilled out
if
as
you
well.
want. Much less chilled out,
More
yeah.
about headbutting footballs.
But Arca's Path is incredibly relaxing. I was sat down, I had the PSVR headset on, and you just let me tell you about it.
Okay.
So it's a puzzle game.
Yep.
At its very core, it's about moving not a sphere.
ball.
It's like a sphere made out of triangles. I don't know what you'd call that.
Yeah, it's like a netted shape.
Yeah. Through a maze, and you might think of kind of like one of those mazes where you move the maze and the ball rolls.
A tilting maze, and also
maze.
it's like a path suspended above. So there's a sense of danger.
Yes.
And hazard.
But you don't tilt the maze.
No.
What you do is you move a kind of a cursor around with your, by looking, and that adds a momentum to the ball. Now it kind of like pulls it almost on like a piece of elastic.
What I could got that. What I didn't really understand was, is that a pleasing thing to do?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Very. First of all, this is a very beautiful looking game.
Yeah.
It's kind of I would almost say kind of papercraft,
Okay.
It's like everything looks very tactile. As you say, it's sort of suspended in midair in a kind of a like sunsetty cloud almost. And it's quite a surreal environment. These little mazes are quite surreal. They have kind of like I say, a paper craftiness to them. There's like a texture to them.
Yeah.
And little bits of kind of papery foliage about. And this is like the very first 2 levels that I played, so it's, I think, and looking at the trailer and things do get a little bit more, the art style does change.
Right.
But yeah, and it feels really, first of all, it's just incredibly intuitive. I mean, I was just sat down, and the only word I saw was begin. So when I sat down at the start of the demo, there was a little word that said begin, which I looked at, and then the demo began, and it didn't tell me anything else. There's no tutorial in terms of text or anything.
Yeah.
And in fact, the story is told just through a series of vignettes. So it's kind of...
what is the story?
Well, I'm not too sure, but basically, from the start of the story is that a ship of some kind crashes, and a little girl goes to the wreckage and finds almost like a mask, which she puts on, which then transports her to this sort of virtual world, the maze, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm almost like her. I'm kind of controlling the ball. I think she's controlling the ball. And I know that they said that when you get further into the story, the maze starts to degrade. Things start to get a bit glitchy and things. Not sure what that means in terms of the story, but that's what's going on. So you just start. There's no information whatsoever, and you move a kind of, by looking around, you realise you're moving a cursor, and the cursor. It's like I said, it has a sort of elastic effect on the ball. Yeah. And I mean that, at its core, is it. It's very relaxed. There's a fantastic score, and they're working very closely with an artist from Ninja Tunes on the Ninja Tunes label, and it just works so well. And the music adds to that sense of relaxedness, but also as you get faster with the ball, so the further you look away from the ball, the faster it goes.
Like kind of a tether.
Yes, exactly. But you can stop it almost dead if you look at it. It doesn't like roll past and then or anything. You can like stop it. And I was playing quite cautiously. I mean, you saw me.
I did, yeah.
To begin with, these early levels, you have little barriers on the side. Like at the bowling alley. Yeah. The barriers are up, so you can't go off the edge. But as you get further on, those start to go. And then if you do go off the edge, you just drop back and you have to go back to a checkpoint. So I was going quite carefully, but it's so strange because I'm doing it now. I know I'm doing it with my head now. It's so natural, and it is really pleasing to have this ball at your whim. And like you said, like it looked like I was almost using mind control. I think in a way it almost felt like that because the movement is very subtle. You don't need to look far away from the ball to get it rolling fast.
So, and at the end, you were very much like, I wish there was more.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
very
feel like
boorish.
it's one of them games that's quite hard to watch someone play it and then go, oh, I get why that's fun.
Yeah,
I understood that it was quite relaxing and I enjoyed the style of it.
Yeah.
But why did you want to play more?
I think it's one of those prime examples of game feel.
Right.
Where I guess it is that kind of sense of, like I said, almost mind control. Like, I'm doing very little, like, physically, which I always like. But, just looking carefully, having that ball at your control. Once you, to begin with, maybe, particularly me, I was a little bit cautious. You worry a little bit. You, like, bump into the wall a little bit and you're like, oh, God, is that okay?
Yeah.
None of that matters.
You weren't breaking any speed records.
There was like a couple of sort of like S curves and things where I just started to kind of get into my stride. When you start taking the ball around corners like that, a couple of corners,
I'm on the racing line.
It's not even touching the sides.
Yeah.
There's a real nice kind of reward to that where you feel good about that. You're not losing any time. It's and also just because it was so relaxing. Like, there's no scoring.
No.
There's no time.
So you can't do
no time
speed
limit.
runs, right? Okay.
Well, that is unlocked. So the first time you play the game, you just play the game. There's no. There are collectibles.
Chill out and then get competitive. That's what the game is.
There are
saying
collectibles, which is one way I guess you can measure your success.
Right. Yeah.
But otherwise, it's really about just enjoying it.
That's cool.
Once you've done it, the levels are unlocked as time trial versions, and I think they are excited to see people really. I mean, I think it is something actually that people will do speedruns of, and it will be amazing to watch, especially with a face cam, because they'll be doing it like this, which will be incredible.
Do you have anything else to tell us before we say goodbye?
I don't think so. I genuinely did want to play more. We only played the first 2 levels.
Yeah.
I'd like to play more. It's a very simple game at its core, but it is all about that game feel.
Cool.
It works really nicely with PSVR, and the levels I saw, as I said, were the first 2 levels basically, so very beginner. I think once the difficulty ramps up, it might be less relaxing, but maybe even more pleasing when you pull off something that's a bit difficult and a bit dangerous.
So that is Arca's Path, a PlayStation VR game which we have played without a DualShock 4.
That's right.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do like this video if you enjoyed it. Stay tuned to PlayStation Access. We've got loads more coming up from E3.